All right, so we have the example of Mackenzie Bezos. I think that's her name, Mackenzie Bezos, or well, I don't know what her name is now. She was, her name's Mackenzie Scott, and she just got married. I guess she was a novelist. If you go and look at her pictures with Jeff Bezos, she has a domineering presence over him. She's taller than him. He looks like Mr. Peanut from Planters Peanuts or whatever. He also kind of looks like the Monopoly man without the mustache. So, if you go and you can Google her name is Mackenzie Scott. She just remarried to a Seattle guy, which makes a lot of sense, honestly. I'm from Seattle, so I know the men. Or I'm not from Seattle. I live in Seattle. And I thank God I'm not from Seattle. That word specifically, keyword from. I am from the east side of Washington, which is a totally different dynamic because it's Republican and it's not Democratic liberal. It's conservative Republican area. Although there's a lot of liberals there. But anyway, Washington is mostly a liberal state. But where I'm from, Spokane, Washington, is conservative Republican. Mostly. Dominant. And there's a big influence there of that. And I'm thankful for that. God, I'm thankful for that. So anyway, if you look at their two pictures, so you can go to Google, type in her name right now today. I don't know what it'll be in the future, but you can put up a side by side of the new guy she married and then of course Jeff Bezos. Now, we all know that women want looks, money, and status, right? I think humans in general, once they get money, they go for looks. Okay, it's real basic, you know. Women are different than men, but we all kind of want the same things. It's just that men love idealistically and women love conditionally and opportunistically. And that's part of their nature. So men have a sort of egalitarian love, women have a survival type of love, which is, fucked up, and it messes everything up, obviously. And it's probably the basis for like 99% of our problems, but hey, it ensures the survival of our race, I guess. The human race, which is pretty fucking retarded, but it is the way it is. It is what it is. So if you go and look at her pictures next to Jeff Bezos, she's taller than him. She's obviously way better looking than him. Comparatively. So she was obviously his version of a trophy wife, and naturally they're gonna get divorced. And now she's worth gazillion dollars because she got half or whatever the fuck, which is just fucking shitty. I mean, the world needs to end, man. If shit like that's going on, like what the fuck. So you put these guys' pictures together. The guy she married, if you just look at the picture of him, the guy she married, he's like an ugly dude, right? But if you put his picture up to Jeff Bezos' picture, he actually looks kind of handsome. That's how ugly fucking Jeff Bezos is. So there you go. She traded in for this dude. Now, here's the thing about Seattle guys. I will say this. They know how to mentally manipulate Seattle women. Seattle women are highly feminist, and these guys just get it. They have something where they figure out how to, and I've watched this in action. They have a sort of psychology over these women where they're pretending to be the white knight, male feminist ally. At the same time, they're sort of subtly implementing a kind of superiority masculine frame over her, which is a variation of game. It's just it's a game that I would never play because I'm not a liberal and I don't want anything to do with feminist women. But these guys are playing it because in their minds they think all women are feminists, and they're not far off on that truth. Most women are feminists. I just could never. I said in a comment, I was talking to somebody and I said I could never we were talking about white knights and how Joe Rogan said something about white knights being weasels. And in my mind, I was thinking, you know, I could never do that because I would never compromise my masculinity. I would never compromise my internal values. I'd rather be alone, and that's probably why I am alone to this day, because I would never compromise who I am to quote unquote empower women. And you know, a lot of people, stupid people, would think that that means I want to be the ruler or I want to be a misogynist in a relationship. Not at all. I just am not at all interested in empowering females in the way that they're being empowered in today's day and age, in this modern feminist way that they're being empowered. No, I have no interest in that. I don't want any of these women because I don't think that they're worth it. I don't think they're worthy. I think they're all fucking really ignorant of their own hypocrisy. Anyway. I mean, you know, everything I say on this channel is the reason why I don't want to, you know, one of these women. And if anything, I'm looking for a unicorn and she ain't out there. So I'd rather be single because there's no such thing as a unicorn. They're all the same. It's like, why? You guys are all the same. So why would I want, if you're all shitty, why would I want any of you, you know? So it's like, I mean, I'm not saying every woman out there is shitty, but anyway, women are women. They have the basic set necessities, and based on those basic set necessities and motivations, I don't want anything to do with them. So we can see, I mean, it's so obvious. You can read right through it. And she's like a fucking Minnesota 8, right? In California, she's a 5. When she was younger, she was hotter. Now she's just, blech. She's nasty now, but she kind of hit the wall and she's starting to shrivel up. But he's, you know, this new guy she's with has got this shit-eating grin on his face in this picture, and she's all happy. So she thinks she found her masculine dude who is also sensitive, and because this is what women want. They want the masculine guy who's also sensitive. So guys know how to play the game, particularly these white knight guys who will compromise, you know, who they are and play the game to get the woman. So that's what he's doing, and I've seen this in Seattle. So it makes a lot of sense that she hooks up with this Seattle school teacher. Oh, and he's a school teacher, so he's sensitive, and all these things women think that they want, and it's all just weird shit. You know, it's all just this prescribed. I mean, you know, it's like you go to the store and you're like, okay, I need carbs, I need protein, you know, not too much sugar, not too much salt. I'm trying to, you know, get this good, you know, healthy quality food for myself. And this is how women pick a man. They're like, oh, I want a guy who's sensitive, but he also needs to be masculine, but he needs to be caring about modern things, and he needs to care about it. It's like this prescription for a man, you know. And it's like, men are not fucking, you know, objects, and that's the irony. It just goes back to feminism. Like, feminism's like, women are not objects. Like, who said you were? Men don't objectify you. You objectify yourselves. First of all, you objectify yourselves when you make everything about sex, because women are constantly making everything about sex. It's like, yeah, we want to fuck you, but that's not all we want. We would like someone to hang out with. We would like someone who's cool, but you can't do that, can you? Because you guys got to manipulate. You guys got to, you know, women have to fucking always have a program they're trying to push through, always have an angle, always have game they're trying to run on people. You know, you can't just be cool and chill. You can't just be, yeah, we want sex. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, so you want sex too, ladies. Like, the reason why women are always so uptight over sex is because that's what they have to barter with. Oh, I'm just so sick of guys always wanting sex. Well, that's because that's what you have to offer. It's all you have to offer. You're not cool in any other way. You're not chill. You're not down. Most of them are not down to earth. Occasionally, I'll come across one or two who's cool and nice or whatever and can have a conversation occasionally, but it's actually pretty rare. Most women have their own program. They don't give a shit about men. I mean, all these things, right? So she thinks that she's got her guy. I mean, will this last? I don't know, man. You know, you got that kind of money and I feel like rich people have a harder time being married, but I mean, I don't really give a flying fuck, you know. All I really see is I look at her pictures, and I see somebody who was a gold digger, who was I mean, obviously Jeff Bezos is not an attractive man, and she's pretty fucking hot when she was younger, hot in a nerdy way, like kind of like shit, what's that? Kind of like Gwyneth Paltrow a little bit, like, you know, not hot, but like traditionally pretty, traditionally attractive, but kind of boring, like, but still pretty hot, like, so like Jeff Bezos is rich, so she went for the money. Once she got the money, then she figured out, okay, well, I need to prescribe this guy who is masculine but sensitive, and of course he's a liberal, because everyone from Seattle is a fucking liberal, which is why I hate it here. But of course he's a liberal, so he's sensitive and he cares about the world, and it's all bullshit. So he's a phony, just like she's a phony, and two phonies, and they're all happy because they're fucking phony together, right? But yeah, and the Washington Post calls her a philanthropist, billionaire philanthropist. What the fuck? No, she's a woman who slept her way to the top. Okay, she's not a billionaire philanthropist. Oh, they call her a philanthropist because she gave away a bunch of money after she took Jeff Bezos to the cleaners. Like, no, she's a divorcee. She's a thought. She slept her way to the top. She's not a philanthropist. You fucking scummy ass press. You can't call a spade a spade. Anyway, so yeah, man, what can we learn from this? Women, they either chase the alpha guy for the alpha seed, or they chase the rich guy for the money, and then eventually, once they get that, then they're gonna look for then they're gonna look for their personal shit. But this guy's a beta guy, at the end of the day. This bald dude, he looks like fucking Grub. I don't know if you guys ever seen that meme with Grub. It's called the Grub meme. You can Google it. He looks like a fucking caveman with his bald ass head. He's not a very attractive guy compared to, actually attractive guys. Compared to Jeff Bezos, yeah, he's fucking a lot better looking than Jeff Bezos, and he's more masculine than Jeff Bezos, but he's not an attractive guy. She could get a much more attractive guy. It's just that this is part of her empowerment, right? She knows she could probably get an attractive guy, but she feels like, which is ironic in this case, because a lot of guys, once they get money and once they get rich, they're like, well, I can never marry, because obviously the woman is going to be marrying me for my money, and you weren't around when I didn't have money, so clearly I know that you only want me for my money, and only a stupid man would think that she really loves him once he has money, and stupid men think that your money will keep a woman loving you and keep her faithful. No, she'll marry you if you have money, but it won't make for a quality relationship. So Mackenzie Scott is at least smart in that she didn't go for a super hot guy, because if she did, she probably thought, oh, well, this guy's going to take my money, because now I took Jeff Bezos' money. So she's smart in that she hooked up with this dude. But let's not rule that out, because he's got a shit-eating grin on his face, and you never know what somebody's got up their sleeve. So she could be getting some karma back here in a year or two, or 3 or 4 or 5, however long he decides to stay with her. She makes significantly more money than him, which puts her at a precarious risk for getting taken to the cleaners through the divorce court through him. I'm not 100% sure how that works. If he keeps working, I'm not sure how that works, and I haven't really studied up on that, I admit that. Because it's not that common. It really isn't that common when guys are, when a guy doesn't have a lot of money but he marries a rich woman. I know it happened with Adele. I know it happened with Halle Berry. So it's becoming more popular. It's becoming more trendy that broke guys will marry rich, famous women and then divorce them and take them to the cleaners. it's weird how that's happening. And then, of course, the women are complaining about it. I know Halle Berry has been complaining about it, you know, the alimony, and saying it's not fair, woo, 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 right? So who knows what'll happen with Mackenzie Scott? But she got her beta guy. You know, he's a beta. All Seattle men are betas. They don't even know they're beta. They just are. They're white knight guys. I guarantee he's a quote unquote empowered feminist, just like she is. I mean, they're fucking from Seattle. It's what it is. That's how people are here. You know. I can just tell by looking at this guy. He's a fucking male feminist. I can tell by looking at her. She's just the typical liberal woman, and she took Jeff Bezos to the cleaners. Okay, she got super rich by playing the divorce game. And Bezos is obviously a fucking beta. Like, you ever heard that guy talk? And you know, he's an intelligent guy, but he's not masculine. Okay, this guy is masculine. So this is what women want. They want money. They want a masculine man. But they also want a sensitive guy, too. They want a masculine man with a sensitive side. And that's usually just an oxymoron. It's not... Because the type of sensitivity that they want is a female sensitivity. So what they really want is they want a masculine man who takes the lead, but he also acts like a female, which is really just exactly how Seattle men are. So she's happy. You know, for right now, she's happy. And if they stay married, she stays happy. Like, whatever, fuck it. But I don't want no parts of that type of relationship. I know these type of guys in Seattle. I've been here for 15 years. I know these type of guys, and they're not men with integrity. They're not men with strong character. They're not really masculine men. They're feminine men. Okay. I was lucky that I grew up around masculine men, for better or for worse, and I know what it is, and I played sports, and I grew up, and I've been in fights, and I've banged with the bad boys, so I know what real masculinity is, and these guys in Seattle are not masculine. They think they're masculine. I'll give them that. They really do. They really think they have superiority complexes, really. Seattle is, they call it the Seattle freeze. Seattle is full of really progressive, yuppie type of motherfuckers, you know. How can I put it? Passive aggressive, very passive aggressive. People who think they're masculine, but they're really assholes, you know. Geeky, nerdy, like the kind of you know, jerks that like try to amog you, and they're really just, they, you know, if it came down to like a fist fight, they would run, kind of thing. Like the you know, the kind of dudes who like talk shit to you, you know, try to amog you, and then when you say, all right, let's fight, they'll call the police, kind of shit. Little bitches, basically, and they think they're masculine, and that's what this guy is. I can tell by looking at him. I don't need to hear him talk. I don't need to know his background. I don't even know anything about him. I can tell by looking at him and the fact that he's from Seattle what type of guy he is, because these guys are all over Seattle, all over. I can just tell the shit-eating grin, and I can tell her too. She's the typical Seattle female. It ain't nothing good. Don't envy these people. Don't fucking envy Mackenzie Scott and her new husband. They're losers on the inside. They might be winning financially. And that's a lot of the hypocrisy of liberal, really high society, high class liberal areas, is they're really just douchebags, you know. They're really very hypocritical. They're very how do I put it? They're very pretentious. That's the right word. Pretentious. Very, very pretentious people. And they pretend to care about the environment. They pretend to care about feminism, but it's all for show. It's all to make themselves feel better. It's all to convince themselves that they're good people. When it really comes down to it, they really don't care. It's all just this mental trick where they just kind of trick themselves into believing their own bullshit, like smelling their own farts kind of shit. That's liberals, man. And I'd say every liberal city, San Francisco, Portland, New York, Seattle, all the liberal cities, that they're just full of pretentious douchebags who like the smell of their own farts. And that's the type of people these are. And Seattle has these type of fucking dudes who think like, oh, because there's mountains, near Seattle, I'm really a masculine man. Like, the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, you don't know the first thing about me and masculine. How do I know? Because I've been around a lot of really masculine men, and you ain't it, buddy. With your little fucking trendy plaid sweater and your fucking your metrosexual boots that you think make you more masculine, when in reality those boots have never seen a hike. Those boots have never even seen a hiking trail. All they've seen is like fucking downtown Seattle coffee shops. You're not masculine. It's the same concept of like buying a fucking Hummer and all you do is use it to drive to the club. It's like, you're a waste of gas. You're a waste of space. That's fucking Seattle, Now it looks here in this picture like they're actually hiking, but I'm just using an example. I mean, people do hike here, right? I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. People do hike here, and it does look like they're on a fucking hike in this picture. That's what people like to do here, particularly couples that they go out and they hike. But it doesn't mean they're not pretentious. It doesn't mean they're not douchebags. Anyway, obviously he's not dressed up like that. At least he dresses normal. At least he's not dressed like a fucking fake lumberjack. I'll give him that. So it looks like he really does like to hike. But anyway, I can just tell by looking at this guy. I know what, I just know. Anyway, so she got her beta. He's quasi-masculine, but he's not really masculine. He's just, he's more feminine than he's masculine. And that's what they want. That's what they want, really. That's kind of what they want. They want the guy who is almost a female. It's pretty creepy and kind of weird, actually, when you think about it. They want the they want a female and a male wrapped up into one, and it's because of feminism. They don't want males anymore. They do not want males anymore. They do not really want masculine leadership. They want this kind of equality, and what it really boils down to is guys have kind of learned, adapted how to be feminine and masculine at the same time. And I don't want no parts of that, man. Like, it's not that I can't be sensitive. It's not that I can't put myself in somebody else's shoes or care for somebody else. It's just that I don't want to walk around pretending to be feminine, and that's what these guys do. And maybe even they don't even pretend to. Maybe even they really are. And it's like, I could tell if you go live somewhere else in not some place that's not Seattle, where guys are actually masculine, and you saturate yourself with those people, you're like, oh shit, these are totally different. This is really masculinity. This is what it really means. And these guys over here are just not it, man, in Seattle. But anyway, I just wanted to comment on that. Basically, she got her beta. This is what they all want. They want the docile guy, and but they also want the looks and the money. So for her, after being married to Jeff Bezos, who looks like fucking Mr. Peanut, and the Monopoly Man had a son. Fucking, he's a step up, and she was smart enough to realize, probably because she's been around somebody who's very intelligent, Jeff Bezos. I'll give him that. He's a beta, but I'll give him that. He's very, very intelligent. So's Bill Gates, but they're betas. They're beta males. You can tell by their energy. So some of his smartness probably rubbed off on her, and that's probably why she said, oh, you know what? I'm going to be smart and figure out my quote-unquote love language, right? Or essentially just what I want in a man. And instead of going for the guy with the looks, she went for this guy. And maybe she'll be happy. I don't know. Maybe she's not a very sexual person. Maybe she doesn't need that in shape, masculine seed. And this guy is obviously more masculine than Jeff Bezos. So it is what it is. Maybe they'll be happy, whatever, but doesn't mean they're not pretentious douchebags. Pretentious douchebags can be happy, I guess, at the end of the day. Doesn't mean people around them like them. So it is what it is. She got her docile beta / wannabe masculine guy, which is what they all are over here. So I think I'll end it there. Just wanted to comment on that scenario, which I think is pretty funny. I can't stand people like her. I can't stand people like her new husband. I can't stand people in Seattle, man. I just cannot stand these feminists, these male feminists. They're everywhere over here, just passive aggressive. There's something called the Seattle Freeze. It ain't called the Seattle Freeze for nothing, man. They don't give a shit about nobody but themselves. They are entirely very insulated, and just self-seeking, really, man. And yet they feign and act like they really care about world politics. They act like they really care about the world and blah, blah, blah. They're just pretentious douchebags, man. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. Appreciate you guys listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.